How's it going, YouTube? Welcome to the Cosmic Ray channel. I'm your host, Cosmic Ray. Um, and tonight, I wanted to talk about something that just randomly just started happening to me lately, and just one of those like inspiring moments of life and about reality. And sometimes when you know people think about like, oh, how do you come up with different ideas and whatnot when it comes to doing these videos? Sometimes it's just life experiences, and I've started to realize certain things about my life and about, well, really of all reality, and how we have this oneness or this closeness together, or that we're all, in a sense, very well connected, either one way or the other. My apologies, I'm going to turn my camera just a minute, a little bit. Okay, so as some of you may know, I had to go what I call be plugged back into the matrix, if you will, and to join rest of society in work and to have a job. And there's certain times in life where you're like, man, I don't want to go back. Am I able to, as an empath, as it's kind of hard, to go back into what I call other like job functions, and I'm able to absorb people's energies. Am I able to, who wants to do that, right? Who wants to quote unquote work? And yeah, I realized that besides just about money and whatnot, I start to realize other things about about money, and about energies and how money is energy, and that's just another form of what we can use in itself in this reality. And also too, I realized that with certain gifts, as some might call, that I've been blessed with. It's like, how can I utilize that, right? And if I'm blessed with this type of this gift, as some would say, it's like you should be able to use it, right? I should be able to use these gifts, to help others and to maybe help myself to a better understanding. So, I work at a particular job where I do see the public a lot, and I interact with them a lot, a lot. Like that's my whole job function. And I start to realize, some good things, some bad things, positive and negative things, of this life. But I've also realized other things, how like we're all connected, and regardless if it's something bad or negative, sometimes it's just another aspect of us, another form of us, if you will. And so I want to talk a little bit about that tonight. And I just want to share us a couple experiences. So um, one, I was wearing, I happen to wear what I call some spiritual gear. Sometimes I call it my infinity stones. This candle's starting to do a little flicker because there's certain things I'm about to talk about right now. So there's, in which I call confirming my truths, if you will. And there were a couple times today, and it usually doesn't happen, but when I was wearing my spiritual gear, or like what I like to call my infinity stones, um, the there's a couple what we call guests, if you will, um, had commented on a particular type of necklace I wear, and this one particularly had amethyst majority. And so one person looked at it and they're like, oh, and they couldn't tell because it's dark. Amethyst is dark. It's more of a purple-ish color, and at least where they're standing from, it was definitely dark, so they couldn't tell what it was. And this is an older lady, and just to kind of just paint you a picture, it has nothing to do with them, for their age. I was just trying to just give you a visual. And of course, color does not matter. So it's just to say it was a woman. So it was a lady, very nice. She just looked at it and started commenting on it. Then I started commenting back, saying about how, well, first of all, thank you so much. And then she started looking at my bracelets, and she's like, those are nice too. It's good to see a male, which I guess in her reality, um, she doesn't see that usually. Now, for me, it's not that big of a deal. I just always think of, usually when you see that, it's either someone spiritual or depending on what kind of bracelets made, they're a candy kid, old school raver talk. Sorry, I don't know why I had to say that, but so it's either like one or the other, right? And so I was, commenting, about them, and about, one of them's using for grounding, and how it does help me out, through everything that's been going on. And she kind of just took that and ran with it, and was like, oh, well, this reality is so crazy, especially when you've been awakened. And I was like, what would you say, awaken, what? And it sparked my interest even more. And there's other people that are like listening to this, and I'm sure they were like, what the heck are these people talking about? and which is good because sometimes it helps spark something to someone else. Maybe it ignites that fire or plants that seed of, some might say. However, we were talking about, and we tried to keep the conversation short, but we both knew that there was some connection to each other. And I always say this, that people come in our lives, and I know sometimes it's bad, no, it's not always, necessarily good, but there are times of trying to find this connection between each other is what's so beautiful, and it's really hard because we're so focused on ourselves. So when this happened, there's like a beautiful moment that I would never start hugging a guest or some call a customer, and we had this connection instantly. And I know we were talking about how I was awoken and whatnot, and things in my life just spun out, and I started to get a different grasp of reality, how this world's just bigger than myself, and how we're all trying to connect with each other and trying to find this oneness with each other to be able to live in better, like, societal ways and whatnot, just transforming ourselves, our life condition, right? And this lady was saying the same thing, and then she's like, "Oh, it's just so beautiful." And I'm like, I've never. She was saying like, "Oh, I've never seen a guy. How this is great to see a guy to wear this stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't. I realize this actually helps myself out." And of course, as I said this before, we all have this power within us. You don't necessarily need, our call spiritual gear. However, it does help, enhance the natural abilities, natural gifts within us that we inherit from Gaia. Yep. Thank you. This just helps us more so, and helps maybe even control some of that too, in a good way. I always say not to have control, but you know what I'm saying, like a little bit more so, and it'll help maybe bring forth something out. Maybe it helps, trick the mind just to slightly to realize, okay, yeah, we do have this power within us, and it does enhance a little bit. So, anyways, so when she said that, I was like, oh yeah, that sucks that there's other males, I guess, in her, in her reality that don't see this, and but for me, I feel definitely this is a good thing, especially it helps to show other people, and I feel as some may say, I'm like a standard quote unquote male, or that male, I guess, figure or whatever you want to say, so that I feel it is not necessarily like a duty of mine. It's like I have to do this, but like I feel like it's something where I should, because if more people start seeing this, maybe they start to realize, oh, okay, well maybe it's okay now, or maybe it's good, right, to wear this, and and it is, and it's okay. It's not like something makes you weird or whatever. It's not. It's like having that confidence, just to know this is just a good knowing. God, I feel so good right now saying this, and this is something that it's right. You have, it's one of those things that it's okay to do this, and it was one of those beautiful moments I had with someone, and it's weird because like I've I've had connections with people in general, and I never had this type of bond with someone that's like a random moment, type of thing, and now, and when I took care of this transaction that we were doing, I was like, can I get a hug? And she was like, oh, I would love that. So I, confirmed my truth. So like, I gave her this biggest hug, and then, I did my whole, thank you so much. I appreciate you, in this life and what we're doing. And she said the same thing. And she's like, you know what? It's just awesome that you found this at your young age. Thank you. So at your young age, in that, it took me forever to find this out. And I'm like, you know what? It does not matter, of your age, but the fact that you have found this within yourself, and it was just a very beautiful experience. Now, on the same day, later on in the day, there was another individual, or what we call a guest, who also commented on my necklace, and that her birthday's in October, and like she loves amethyst and like I think it was opal or something, but she loves amethyst, and it's really something that helps. And she was just talking about how just about it, and I was like, like, well, how does that make you feel? How does that make you? Do you feel natural gifts through it? And she's like, oh yes, I do. And it was just a random person that you probably wouldn't. Both of these people, if I were to stereotype a spiritual person, you wouldn't even think these people were. This is something, and that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of all this stuff. Of not trying to judge someone by what they look like. To think, oh, if they wear spiritual gear or non-spiritual gear, or if they look like the classic, what a spiritual person, I guess, will look like. Whatever that means to you. Sorry. Like it's basically the whole not passing judgment, on people, and it was just so just be able to like open up my heart, open up my mind, open up, just a little bit of that, of my closeness, like, ooh, I'm sharing this with myself. I like to talk about it because I'm so scared, and yeah, I need to be able to share my spirituality and stuff with, with other people, and even if it's at work or other cases. And that's what made me feel great. There's a random person who knew, and I didn't have to say anything, but it's like, that I know it's this namaste, just this whole like, I appreciate your and recognize your, oneness, to this, consciousness, to this, to me, to you, this reality that we're connected, thank you, in this type of situation, if you will. And we talk a little bit about it too. And I'm like, thank you, and you have a awesome day. I didn't give this person a hug. It wasn't like I didn't want to. It was just one of those like, yeah, it was just one of those like just to feel right, I say this because there's other random things that were happening to me today. So like, first of all, I know usually I do this in the beginning of a video, and I think I'm going to do this to another video. So they may see this earlier, um, but to Mystic Wisdom and Treasures, this other YouTube channel, and it's this lovely individual, beautiful soul, another from my understanding, cosmic surfer, of this, collective consciousness of this writing the cosmic ways of life, or karmic ways of life. Her name is Natasha. Now, the cool thing is some kind of odd synchronicities of life. So I have my own friend. Her name is Natasha. This is not this person. I'm not trying to use some subconscious like thing, to this person. But this is I have my own. She's like a fellow shaman, but she's not on YouTube or anything like that. And she's doing her own thing, and she's a beautiful soul also. And I feel like I may bring her on my channel just to kind of just talk about other aspects of shamanism and what she goes through, and like maybe Hawaiian shamanism and just of other things. So, and I always think it's always great to bring about other people in this reality. So or at least on my channel. Anyways, so I've been thinking about her a lot lately, like a lot, and I think I need to call her. It's like one of those moments where you just got to call someone and just to say hi. But I was thinking about her a lot lately, and it's just the name Natasha. Really, it was more like the name Natasha. It was more about just about all this. And I've been thinking a lot about doing different divination stuff. I've been thinking about more, this is what now I'm starting to understand it more, like elemental things. Yep. And also too, obviously I know I do divination. Obviously I do my, candle love magic to confirm my truths, with spirit or higher self or these spirits around me, which, wow, which I've been blessed. Hold on. Woo! Love the energy in this room right now. Woo! Sorry, just had to say that. Yes, thank you. Whew, I feel really good right now. So I just want to say, I feel this is one of those right things to talk about. So I'm going to keep going. So yeah, I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about more than just my divination stuff, just more about just doing something a bigger aspect, something just big, just, I don't know, just more with fire. Not playing with fire in a literal sense, but just more of just oneness. Woo, feels so good right now. Feeling good. Sorry. Anyways, and it it was just really not, I don't want to say odd. Sometimes I just like to use those filler words, but it's not odd. It's like beautiful. It's a wondrous experience. So this lovely individual, Mystic Wisdom and Treasures, Natasha, she commented on one of my videos, or a couple of my videos actually. One of about my candle love, magic, and also about more about my hair and spirituality, how it can change, whatnot. And she was thinking how kind of being brave and kind of testing the waters, if you will, of cutting the hair and whatnot. But not necessarily about that. It was more, she was something that she was commenting, about another video that I did recently, which is like, it's more like a random video that I did. This was just like my most recent video, and it was something I did around 2:22, a.m. in the morning. It was random. I don't know why I had to do it, but as you know, in this collective consciousness, it's awesomeness, as well. I always say it's crazy, but it's not like in the literal sense crazy. It's just crazy awesome. Just like, man, I don't even know how to explain it sometimes, right? Well, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and on her side, in her reality, obviously I can't explain her viewpoint, but I can just assume what's going on in this life, or in this reality, since it's collective consciousness and everything. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you, my cosmic surfers, anyone else looking at this, because like, when he's going to get into this collective consciousness thing, right? So on her side, she felt that this was a synchronistic moment, and it is, and it is very much so, because it's what I'm explaining to you guys right now, and my candles were confirming my truths here. On her side, she was thinking about just different kind of divination work, and seeing something like this, and you start to realize that maybe this is something that works for you, and that's beautiful. I truly want anyone else to try this if you feel brave enough in love and light. Like I said, I don't try to do any seances or anything. Not saying I couldn't or could. It's just I try not to do that because it's like I call it my family home. I want beautiful spirits and everything to come in. So trying to bring too much like negativity in the household. Trust me, this world's full of it, so I don't like to absorb any more than I need to. However, getting to it, so it's some of those things where it inspired her to to kind of feel brave enough to do that on her side, and which is great. And of course, her name's Natasha. Like I said, I've been feeling just the name Natasha a lot more lately, and for my more and more personally about my friend, it was more the name Natasha. It was weird, and don't know why. Of course, she's looking, this video or my previous video, and even talking about like, how she was saying that because also, brave, just being my organic self, because I did mention that a couple times in my video. It's like, because I wasn't exactly sure why, but I just knew I just had to just go in a video and just start talking, just go from there. So, yes. And so as in this case, I didn't know her name was Natasha. I didn't know this person had a video until I actually clicked on her channel and then listened to what she had to say. And she was saying, "Hi, this is Natasha," and I was like, What? No freaking way! Like, no way!" And and a little side note, I know I talked about doing other divination works and about doing tarot cards, and I'm not like a tarot person. Not saying it's not negative or anything like that, or like I'm negative to it. It's just I do like more Osho type cards, more kind of like a thought of the day, and I not anything against Osho or Osho cards. And if you do Osho cards as your divination, that's totally cool too. I look at it as more like a wisdom of the day, like a good quote of the day kind of thing, and kind of like go more towards just how I feel about just life, and how some of me feels like is what they like when you get those like everyday astrology reports or something. um, and so looking at your calendar and whatnot, and your sign. And it's one of those things that I do that too sometimes. Do at the end of the day, like, oh, how this reflects, or even beforehand, right? So, and I love those Osho cards and tarot cards. It's just more like I always feel it's not the true sense of tarot cards, so like, or angel cards, as some would say with those cards too. But anyways, she was doing that and I didn't know that, and then I'm like, oh crap, CRAP, like this girl does that type of work, and her name's Natasha. This is just kind of like synchronistic, at least for me on my side. And of course, for her side, she was like, "Oh wow, this is very synchronistic that I found your video," and I've been thinking a lot about doing other things of like elemental senses, and it's just kind of amazing. And maybe this individual is inspiring me to maybe possibly do even more something, like being brave enough to take on some of that tarot work, which I feel is very hard to do, and it's very like a true gift. That's definitely something to study and practice and more love and energy into, and be able to feel more so. Now with this more collective consciousness in itself. Now, um, I've already explained a little bit into my other videos, but just in case, collective consciousness is this real sense of knowing that we're all very much connected. We feel like this consciousness in itself, like where we get this information from. Now, there's even times where, like, to give you an example, I swear it's like we're all somewhat like not related, but we all have like share this, because there's other YouTubers out there who may have more like subscribers than myself, which what do you do, right? It's just all about enlightening and help sharing information with others. So with them, I feel there's like the sense of where whoever gets that information, that just random thought, right? When you quiet your mind, just wherever you feel inspired, right? This thought comes, and it's like if you don't say anything about it, it gets shared to someone else and see what they can do with it, right? And if you're able to take this information, try to roll with it, and then maybe it was meant for you, or whatnot, right? And then so I feel like you do a video, or you don't, and then someone else kind of like gets not the credit for it, but they just kind of roll with it. And sometimes you may notice that other people do the same type of video. Now, don't get me wrong, it could be something where like someone's looking at a video and like, oh, well, I'm just going to do a video too, blah, 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 and do my take. And which is okay too. And nothing's wrong with that because, hey, people may relate to someone else where they do it versus someone else. And that's totally cool. Whatever inspires is whatever inspires. And that is a beautiful thing, right? But it was just more of like, sometimes people wonder, like, how does everyone get all this information at once? So there's like an email that I'm not on that like the universe just sends out to everyone. It's like email blasting everyone in their mind and trying to say, well, what's going on, you know? It's almost like that. It's like an email blast. All right, who's getting their email first? Who's going to check it first? And who's going to do this? And it's kind of like that, where we're sharing this information. This information just gets sent out, like, randomly. And it's like as if we're all telepathic and, able to use this telepathy in a sense to be able to, like, you know, gain this information from this collective consciousness, this bigger macrocosm to our microcosm, type of thing. Is it God as in the traditional sense of like a Christian, Catholic, or Judaism, or whatever, of either, sorry, I just had a blank. I was thinking like other religions too, but like, I don't want to say the wrong things. So if your religion even feels with the traditional, God sense, like this higher consciousness, but I know a lot of people feel it's like a guy, that's like a God, so I don't want to say that. So anyways, like, so whatever that is to you, some people feel it's that, some people feel it's like a universal thing, and it's just know that the universe is alive, not just Gaia, Mother Earth. She's definitely alive, and all of us. But I meant this whole universe sense, right? This whole universe, being alive. And it's just this understanding, and you don't have to believe anything I'm telling you, okay? You do not have to. It's just when you have a spirituality, or I'm sorry, spiritual awakening, and you start getting tapped into the divine, this oneness, even to your higher self, if you will, you start to have open mind and this open heart, open love. You start to just be able to understand just different things that's going on in this reality, and it's beautiful. And it's just one of those things where you start to get this thought, and you start to feel others, feel energy, feel like the moment. You start embracing other things in this life, right? And you start to just have this full-on understanding of things. And it's really beautiful about spirit guides, spirit animals, angels, archangels, guiding spirits, ancestral guides, however you want to call it, right? Even hidden folk, the interdimensional beings, outer dimensional, the vibrational outline people, I would say too, to aliens, extraterrestrial, terrestrial, what I don't want to say whatever because they're all important to me, so I don't want to. Yeah, you guys are all important to me. So it's everything and anything, just this understanding, even the understanding of the matrix simulation or reality, that's all part of it. So in the sense, it's all true. And that's that whole thing of like actually understanding. Now it's hard for you if you're on the other side, you're like, dude, this guy's crazy, what is he talking about? That's that whole spiritual awakening thing, and I can't say anything. Even that the one I called the guest, that was talking to me about it, she even knew. She was just saying, I just glad I know now. And she was a lot older. I don't want to say age because I don't want to like start making feel like, oh, I'm just ageism or whatever it is, or what they call it now. No, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that like she, did understand, and I understand her. We're like sharing this moment, sharing this collective conscious that we both understand each other without having to say much. It was just beautiful to be able to share that experience with someone that I haven't done that in a long time. And same thing with this other individual. And then of course this our fellow hopefully cosmic surfer out there, Natasha, going with her channel. So I would actually recommend, if you haven't, or if you do love other divination or tarot cards, or if you like something that's more true, more organic, something more of it what comes in from a beautiful energy and spirit, to please check out her channel, as well. And I feel if you haven't looked at any cards, or I'm sorry, any channels that had to do with tarot cards, and you're not quite sure like how that works, she does a really awesome job in explaining and how the things are done. You just have to realize it takes time to do that, so please give her that patience of time of listening to her channel to be able to understand, or I'm sorry, her videos, to be able to understand how that works, and to know it does take time and passion into that, so especially if you want accurate readings. So anyways, no, I just something I just wanted to share. I know this whole video wasn't necessarily everything about collective consciousness because I can go even more in depth. I mean, I pretty much kind of said what I really needed to. I mean, it's just this understanding, of life. And so I don't want to take any more time out of your guys' night or your day, whenever you're watching this, as some would say. So cosmic surfers in light and love. As you know, I speak the truth, as always. You know, I love you all, regardless of what you look like, what you believe in, what your gender is, what your preferences, or if you identify, non-identify gender or sex, that is totally okay, because you are beautiful in your heart and in your mind. And if you share this love, you know, to someone else, and as long as you're not taking away someone's, you know, love or controlling someone, you know, you're beautiful. And I want you to, that's the only thing that I want is for you to stay beautiful and to just shine bright, shine above any light. Be like what I call the sun, you know, and, you know, just be confident, always coming up every day in the morning, you know, well, unless you're, you know, in Alaska during that time frame where it's always dark or always sunny, then, you know, sometimes it's dark. Anyways, just shine bright. Always, okay? Stay cosmic, my cosmic surfers. The karmic waves, you know, will be coming probably pretty strong here, you know, in a little bit, because as someone say, the collective consciousness is starting to, like, you know, understand and start to know. And it's crazy because there's things that you have in your mind and you're like, I feel something like this is happening. I feel like this is happening. I feel like something else is happening. And you may see someone in the YouTube world, you know, start talking about it, like talking about moons and about the new moon energies come in and about, you know, the full moon and watch for this. And you're like, oh, I knew it. Oh man, I should do a video about that. And yes, you should. This is your moment to start doing those. So that's all part of this whole collective consciousness. You know, that we share this, you know, aspect of, you know, let's say if we're all part of this energy of whatever it is, God, let's just say God's up here, right? And you have your higher self, this is other energy that just comes out, right? And it's like your best version of yourself. And it's not necessarily you in this physical aspect, you know, your ego self, but this energy that's been throughout everything, that's been through your past, present, and future, you know, that's been through your many lives, you know, of wherever it is, either on earth or not on earth, as you guys know about me. And yes, and so that energy in your higher self is all part of that collective consciousness, or this God, or this source energy, or creative, or this, some people say this higher supreme intelligence, or the collective consciousness, or supreme intelligence, or higher intelligence, or universe, or there's many names for this. You know, you can call it whatever you want to call it, and that's cool with me. You know, you can call it Frank, like I've always said. You know, yes, you can call it whatever, as long as you know in your mind what it is and how that's working. You know, it's a beautiful thing that we're all sharing. And who knows if this creation source energy was like, you know what, I want to know what it's like. So poof, starts spreading all its love around, you know, into different forms of us, different, all of us physical manifestations. And we're all this just, yep, recycled energy, you know, of this bigger manifestation, this microcosm to the macrocosm. Stay beautiful. Love you guys. And love this energy right now. I hope I can just, I'm just going to just try to give you guys some energy. Just, woo, loving it. All right, guys and gals and whatever and whoever you are watching this, stay beautiful as always. Shine higher above any clouds, no matter what. Namaste. Good night. I love this energy. I love this, what I'm feeling right now. This is so beautiful. The most experiences that I had in a while. And just want to say thank you. Spirits, my spirit guides, my angels, my ancestral guides, the inner dimension, the outer dimension, the ones who, even the ones who passed, the ones who've been helping us, guide us, and just thank you. Even though it's really hard for me to kind of see and visual, I know that's just more the ego self just has to find out, right? It just has to see. So my plain eyes, you know, manifest in front of me. Just want to say thank you, and this is the best way that I can, you know, do this for now. And I just want to say it's beautiful. Thank you. I feel your energy, so just letting you know. Thank you for flickering the candles to show me that candle love and magic that we all embrace and need to kind of have this feeling of. And just want to say thank you. Energy is so strong in this room. Like I just, if I can just hug these spirits, like I would. And it's so beautiful. Thank you so much for just, I feel blessed. I really do feel blessed. So thank you so much for having this feeling inside me and in my heart. And just wanted to share with, even with the collective, you know, out there, that, you know, this isn't anything negative. It's a beautiful energy, it's beautiful feeling that I'm getting inside right now, and this beautiful love. And, you know, as you would know, if I can hug you and just hold you in my arms. I just want to say thank you. I would, and I can feel the energies, and that's like the best I can feel right now. And this is one of the best feelings of life. This is like best and better than any coffee energy that can give to me anything else. Like feeling, I'm feeling the physical energy right now. Wow, that was beautiful, and just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. You are you are truly blessed, and I appreciate you for allowing me to feel these energies and to be able to be a part of you as you are a part of me, and going through your journeys as well. And oh man, it just feels so good right now. So thank you, thank you, thank you.